couple weeks ago, and I think even last week I might have asked this too, I started sending out surveys, right? I started asking people like, what's valuable for you in this group? What do you want to see more of? What would what you want to see less of? What's your favorite thing, et cetera. And one of the things that we really got a lot of good feedback on is people like to see other people besides just me having success with this model. Okay. And so that was really good feedback for me because I love highlighting people that are not me, people that have followed our system, that have followed our perfect recipe for baking a cake, as I call it, which is following exactly what we teach inside Digital Landlords, A to Z, and going and having success and going and making money and going and be able to quit their job and going and being able to travel, being able to pay off debt, being able to invest in real estate, buy the car they want, take care of their mom, take care of their spouse. It's so fun for me to see. And I love highlighting and interviewing different people because we're all different. We all come from different walks of life. Excuse me. We all come from, some of us speak different languages as our first language. Some of us are from, different time zones. Some of us are from, situations and circumstances where we were taught certain things about money that may or may not be true. And it's so cool to see just like all these different people having success. And so I like to highlight these different people because each one of us, and I'm going to talk about that today, each one of us has what I call our yeah, but, okay? I got to take this gum out. It's so strong and it's making me sweat. We all have our yeah, but, which is, yeah, Nick can do this, but Nick blank. Yeah, Nick can do this, but Nick was a door-to-door salesman. Yeah, Kyle can do that, but, Kyle has that Southern accent. Which you guys, I know that you think I'm joking. People have these weird things. I remember Borhan. If you guys remember him, he's kind of started chasing some shiny pennies. I hope he sees this because I'd give him a hard time. He is chasing shiny pennies. He's been doing some other stuff. He opened a restaurant. But he scaled up really quickly. And before he joined inside of our program, he didn't tell me this, but one of the things that he was thinking, one of his yeah buts was, yeah, Nick can do this, but he has a nice background, a nice backdrop at his office because I have like a nice, at my, my house in the US, I have like a nice desk and like whatever, a nice picture behind. And he legitimately thought that like he couldn't close as many deals as me because he didn't have that same backdrop. And I was like, bro, you're crazy. So I told you guys have seen me. I've been in Africa, literally a white wall with like a curtain holder. That's been my backdrop. So it doesn't matter. Okay. So I like these calls. I like bringing people on because it shows you guys that it doesn't matter. Whatever your yeah, but is, I'm going to give you an example or examples of people that are doing it despite that but. Okay. Some of you guys that are women are sitting there going, well, yeah, but he can do it, but he's a guy. And I know that sounds crazy to some people because that's not true. That is some people's objection. That is some people's but, their excuse, their reason for not trying. So that's the reason I love doing these interviews. I'm going to continue to do them because you guys have given me feedback that you like them, you enjoy them, etc. Okay. Also, for the record, I said this in the last call because I was just barely on with our digital landlords community. We have our weekly call inside of there where we do, different kind of trainings and whatever the case is. And we do that every single week. And so I just really said this in there as well. And this is me doing exactly what I teach you guys to do, which is eliminating objections. Okay. Instead of waiting until it happens, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to tell you this could happen so that when it happens, you're not going to freak out. There's a chance my Wi-Fi goes bananas. And I just want you to know if that's the case, stay put. I'll be right back on. But I am in a hotel. I'm in London right now. My 3 months in Africa is up and I have my plane ticket. Was supposed to be yesterday. I actually ended up canceling it and having to book a different one 2 days ago. Did it last second. So I didn't even know when I was going to be leaving. But this is kind of the weekend I plan on leaving. But I decided to come to London for a bit of time and extend. And one of the downsides of that is I'm using hotel Wi-Fi. So I'm eliminating your objection. It may go a little bit, whatever. That's just part of the game. Stay on. I'm gonna be right with you. Okay. That's me following my own advice. So a couple quick things. I want to give a quick shout out. Okay. And I like doing this because I want you guys to know. See, I wrote this down somewhere. Let me get the exact deals. Okay, they're right here. Every week, I wanted to like let you guys know if I have time, who's been getting deals. You guys can see there's people that are outside of, just me, that are outside of those people that you see every single day, every single week. And sometimes these people don't post inside of the free group. Sometimes they do. But I want to give a quick shout out because I want you guys to see that people are getting deals from all walks of life. Some that have been in the program for a month, some that have been there for 6 months, some that have been in there for 2 months, some that have been there for 6 days. And I want you guys to know. So I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. John Yarwood, landing a $500 per month deal, which is in Canadian, it's 700 Canadian. The thing that I'm impressed is this gentleman has only been in the group 1.5 months. 6 weeks, first deal, $500 a month. Some of you guys, or maybe he's thinking it's a great deal. My very first deal was, I think, $500 or $600 per month. I think it was $600 per month towing. Couldn't have been more excited. Couldn't have been more excited. $500 is $500. I'm not going to say no to $100. I'm not going to say no to $10, but especially $500 on autopilot. So congrats to John Yarwood. And I told John this, but please reach out to Fix It Felix. Get yourself some swag. Message Fix It Felix. You know the drill, and he'll send some out to you. The other thing that John mentioned in his post was that in the very first area that he went into, he got ghosted twice. Okay, and a lot of us would get ghosted once and we'd quit. John got ghosted twice and decided to give it one more try and finally got the deal. Okay, guys, remember that if you are getting leads, whether it's through paid ads, whether it's through organic, there is always a deal to be had. And sometimes it's that last business owner that you call. Sometimes it's not even a business owner. Sometimes it's another type of business, right? With towing, there's other types of businesses that do towing, collision and repair centers, mechanic shops, right? These places also do towing, and sometimes they want to add another revenue stream. They have a tow truck sitting on the lot that's not being used. They can put their freaking cashier to work, go get them the license or whatever, and start doing towing and add X amount of dollars per month. So just keep in mind, there is always a deal to be had. So shout out to John. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Davis. Jonathan got a deal. It wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't even a flat fee deal. But it was just a simple commission deal, which he's going to try his best to convert into a flat fee deal. It's going to be tough. I'm telling you that right now. Last week, we even talked about this. It's almost impossible to do. And if it does happen, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The reason I want to give a shout out is because you're taking action. Okay. You have to be taking action to be able to get any kind of a deal. And so I'm happy that you're making calls. I just want to give you a shout out for just taking action. So shout out to Jonathan Davis as well. Okay. I just want to give those two people a quick shout out, and let me go ahead and send over the link. One moment. Also, if this screen's a little shaky, deal with it. If you guys saw my setup, you guys would laugh. I have the coffee table. I've got this nice little couch. Here's my window. You can't really see out of it. That's fine. And then I've got two pillows stacked on top of each other with my computer on top. And that's how we're rolling. If you guys saw me, I filmed a couple weeks ago. I had to use a toilet paper roll, and it doesn't have to be fancy, guys. Just go and take action. Okay, let me go ahead and send this link out to our guest today, and then I can wait for him to hop in the waiting room. I've got one or two more things I'm going to cover, and then we are going to get right into this. Give me 1 second. Let me get into Facebook, send it over on Messenger. Also, guys, if you have questions, I'm going to have a little bit of time at the end. Go ahead and start dropping those questions in the chat. Boom, just barely sent it. There you go. Mr. Ilia. If you guys have questions, go ahead and feel free to drop them right now. There's going to be time at the end to answer those questions. Okay. For those of you that weren't on the call last week, we talked about flat fee deals. We talked about, why it's the only way to scale. Yes, you can go and get commission deals. Yes, some of them work. Some of these people actually will pay you, and they are honest and they are good closers and they can work. The thing is that flat fee is the only way to scale. So what I'm going to do, just as a recap, I would highly recommend you go watch last week's live, but just as like a quick way to see what my thoughts are on this, I'm going to go ahead and drop a YouTube video I did a while back. I think it was like a year ago, to be honest. It's been a minute. That YouTube video that I'm posting right now inside of the chat is a video where I talk about why I do not like the pay-per-lead model. I certainly don't like the commission model. But pay-per-lead model on paper looks like the best model. Looks like the holy grail, because there's no ceiling, there's no whatever. But I need you to watch this video, and you're going to see where my mind's at. And this is from me actually doing it, not just from theory. Okay. Lastly, guys, for those of you, I said this last week, I want to say it one more time. I even made a post about it, but it's been something that's been asked. But those of you guys that are not hearing back or haven't heard back from us that have applied to digital landlords. Okay. You guys, and some of you guys have applied, you haven't heard back, and you're messaging me or whatever, messaging Ashley. There's a couple things you guys need to understand. Number one is the most common thing that we're seeing that as I'm talking to the team is people are not filling out the application good at all. Like it's the most half-assed thing ever. We'll get applications and it's one-word answers. Okay. It's one-word answers. Or, there's a section in the application. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll drop it here in a second for those that want to fill it out and apply. It asks, it's like, hey, we need people that want to have success. We need people that are going to go and have success so that we can interview them in this group, right? That's what we've been doing. Why should we select you? Why should we let you in? Because we're going to be very picky. And like some people, as they don't even take it seriously. Some of them are like, no, you need to sell me. We're not in the business of selling. Like at this point, you're in this group, you're seeing all these case studies, you're seeing all these people. We're going to show you another one today. I don't know how many hundreds of people we need to show you that are having success. You're seeing my Stripe account, you're seeing my freaking tax returns, you're seeing people talking about deals and making money. We are not, if you're going to apply and if you're not sold on the model A, rank and rent as a whole, A, and B as, the program actually doing what it says, then don't apply. Okay. This isn't a sales call. We're not getting you on these calls to try and convince you that you need to join. It should be very obvious that is where all the answers are. It should be very obvious that is where the secret recipe, the perfect recipe. And some of you guys, I know you got 90% of it. I'm good at sales. I'm good at tech. I just need this one little thing. You think you need the one little thing, but that one little thing has another little thing attached to it, another little thing, and that 10% that you think you're missing, it's going to take you the next 4 years to learn. So pay the piper, pay someone that's paid the piper. If you're not hearing back, you probably filled the application like crap, go resubmit it, and then you can reach out to us, okay? But guys, don't expect for us to take you seriously when you took 5 seconds on the application. That's ridiculous, okay? And don't put some stupid answer, and don't put that you're making a gazillion dollars per month when you're not. Okay. We see this is crazy. We got adults putting some crazy answers. Okay. So guys, and also just so you know, this isn't some kind of like fill it out so we can whatever. We read every word. And if it doesn't feel like, I'll text the team, but like, do you guys see that application? Toss it out. Terrible. Don't even waste your time. We won't even call you. Okay. Don't be offended if you didn't get called. If you feel like it was wrong, reach out to us. That's what I want to say. Okay. So to just finalize that, I said this last week as well. That's the deal. So for those of you, and I'm going to do this because some of you guys are literally incapable of even finding this. Not everyone, but there are a few. I'm going to go ahead and help you out. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll do it at the end. Okay. And I'll drop the application for those that want. Okay. That said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guest really quick. Mr. Ilia, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What's up?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Am I saying your name right, Ilia?
Yeah, on point, man.
Is it Russian?
Russian, Bulgarian, yeah, some of everything.
Cool. I got a friend named Ilia. I think he's Russian, so that's all. I cheated a little bit because I wanted just
Nice.
same
No
spelling and
worries.
everything. So I'm cheating a little bit. But how you doing, bro?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good, chilling. Trying to make some extra money here, get big.
Yeah, it makes it's extra money until it's the main money. You know,
Exactly, exactly. You know what? Yeah,
I've been there,
100%.
bro. I've been there. I remember the first deal thinking, man, I'm gonna get to pay for the car payment, pay for this, pay for that. And then it was like, oh, now I'm paying, now I'm making half as much. And then I'm like, I'm making just as much and I'm spending less time. I enjoy it way more. It's my thing. And then it just kind of flips. So anyway, dude, appreciate you being on. So I'm going to go through, I've got some basic questions that I want to ask you just so people have some context. And then I've got some deeper questions, but I've written down 7 questions I want to ask you, but if we don't get to all of them, then we don't get to all of them. If we get to one, we get to one. But the point is the purpose of this call is we want to add value. If you're watching this, we want to add value to people that are watching this. And sometimes it's not even the thing that like Ilya is going to say. Maybe it's something he says triggers something else that you're like, I need to do that. But the goal should be, if you're going to watch this stream, you need to get something out of this. You need to go and put it into practice. So, really quick, let's talk about this. Number one is like, tell everyone where you're based and what you're doing for work. Because I mentioned before, and part of the live title, you're still doing a full-time job. So tell us where you're at and what you're doing for work.
Yep. So I'm in Idaho, just about 20 minutes west of the capital. So kind of growing area, not too bad.
What
And then
city are you technically in?
Nampa, Nampa.
I have a sister. One of
So
my sister lives in she lives up there. I don't even know. I hope she's not on the stream because she's in this group. I don't know where you live, Caitlin. I'm sorry. I haven't even been up there, but I know she lives up there. It's too cold for me, bro. But anyway, I know Idaho's a great spot, but she lives up there. So 20 minutes, you said east or west?
west of Boise, yeah,
So
give or
Salt
take.
Lake's what, 3 hours?
I think a little more. We went to Lagoon last year. It was like 5 hour drive. So,
Okay, it's a jaunt, but I guess yeah, anyway. Okay, sweet. What do you do for work, man?
so I don't know if you're familiar with Salesforce. I essentially help people build CRMs for their business. So solution design and kind of yeah, a lot of meetings with clients, figuring out what they want, and then just kind of build it out for them and run a small team and stuff. It's pretty cool, but it's you're still working for somebody else. So I work from home. It's like yeah, the job like it's not a bad job. It's great. Like I'm honestly, if you told me 5 years ago I'd have this job, I'd be super stoked. But now I'm here. I'm like I'm sick of this. Like I got to make some changes. So that's
It's true, man. You remind me of for those of you that have seen our interview or interviews with Ryan Dalton, it's like you're kind of in that same category. I don't know what you make. I assume I know that company's a phenomenal company. I know it's valued at multi-billions of dollars, right?
yeah. I mean, I work for a partner company. That's just like the main product that we push. So that's
Okay, but
we build
still
that out for people. But it's a good job, man. It's not a yeah, the income's pretty good.
the
So
point is, yeah,
uh,
you're making
yeah,
good money. It's not like you're working at freaking wherever, right? Making just barely over minimum wage.
yeah, yeah.
And the point I'm trying to get across is like no matter what the pay is, I don't care if you're a doctor working at a hospital, you are still working for somebody else, man. You are still somebody else's chess piece on their chessboard. And so, like with Ryan, I know for him, he's making great money. And not only is he making great money, he loves what he does. He's an attorney, but he's an attorney, an interesting attorney. He does stuff overseas. They chase criminals. He loves it, and he just saw the writing on the wall. He's like, I don't want to get in a position where my job, my family's livelihood is in someone else's hands. And also, I don't want to be told what I'm worth. And so, what was it for you? Was it more the idea of like I don't want to have it in someone else's hands, or was it more the frustration of like I'm not getting I can't go and like make an extra $100,000 next year because it's just not possible.
I think the biggest thing for me is time. So I just kind of one day I sat down, I just kind of thought about it. I was like, man, I got like another 30 years of work just sitting there doing this for somebody else to have like a little retirement. And I was like, I can't do that. Like mentally, just even thinking about that, I was like, I do not want to do that. I know if I put into work and hustle up, I could cut that time tremendously and just put all that time back to the family and hanging out. So
Dude, isn't
do
it
things that we
crazy?
like.
Isn't it the
Yeah,
most
it's
risky thing in the world? Doesn't if you really
yeah,
think about it, I know everyone says it's risky to start a business. I think it's so much more risky to be working for somebody else.
absolutely, absolutely. Yep, yep. Because you're on their you're essentially they're your lifeline. If anything goes down, they have a wild hair and they're like, hey, like I'm done. You're done. You're going down with them. So there's no control, no like yeah, you got job skills and stuff, but at the end of the day, you're still hoping somebody else will pick you up. So it's like might as well take charge of that.
And everyone's like, yeah, no, my employer's different, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, until it affects their pocketbook.
Yep. No, our company's super great, dude. Like our guy, our CEO is awesome, like fantastic. Like there's nothing bad I could say. But I'm still working every hour I put in, it's going straight to his pockets, not to mine. So it's like, let's
Dude,
let's change that.
every man and woman has this realization. I feel like once they jump into something, I had the same thing in 2015. I got my check from doing my door-to-door sales job, and I was like, it was great. It was like a six-figure check, and I made like 210 gross, and I was 24, and I'm like, this is awesome. And you'd think I would have been stoked. I'd like literally six figures deposited more than I had the day before. And I was just sick to my stomach. I was like, I'm like, if I made this much money, how much did he make? And I was
100%,
excited.
yep.
Yeah, I can't say I was jealous. I'm like, good on him, but it inspired me. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna sweat, if I'm gonna knock on doors, if I'm gonna be so uncomfortable, I'll be damned if it's gonna be for some other human.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know?
And
So
it's funny you say that because I had an insurance agency I built before, and I was renewing at like $10,000 a month, and that's great, it's just like passive income coming in. But at the end of the day, um, it's still like it's not something that I own. It's yeah, I have my sales that I built up and stuff, but it's not none of it is mine. And so it's like, yeah, you just walk away from it, you sell the agency and whatever, it is what it
asset,
is. So
it's the ass. This is the box that this business model checks. It's the assets. That's what you're doing. You're building and renting out assets.
absolutely.
It's crazy too that you think about like how bizarre it is. Like, I know as a business owner, as an agency owner, as an entrepreneur, you certainly have more stress, but like I don't like in the beginning, I feel like you put in more hours than maybe someone that's at a 9 to 5. I do. But I think once you get things set up properly, I think it's pretty much similar, like to an extent. Like, so imagine, right? Let's say that there's me and you, and then there's somebody else, and that other person is like, I'm going to choose security. I want to get the paycheck. I want to get the 401k. I want to have the company Christmas party. I want to have the trip that I win the incentive on. And me and you, we take the risk. And after a year or two or three, we have everything set up and we kind of work the same. And he works for 30 years, we work for 30 years, and our outcome at the end of it is so much different. His, I already know that the potential upside is a teeny little 401k, living paycheck to paycheck, maybe take a cruise if he's lucky, get the balcony seat, get that balcony room if he's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
special, and the drink pass. That's the potential upside. And then for me and you, it's like we have the potential if we do it correctly to go buy our own boat, to go and live the best life that we can imagine. And so, guys, be
yeah.
careful. And I love what you said about time, dude. It's like it's gonna pass, man. That's one thing as you get older. How old are you?
32.
36. You're my age. We're the same. The older you get, the
Yeah.
more you realize you can't get it back, bro. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Well, that's just check out that age comparison. Just that is a perfect example. Like I chose the job security route, and here I am starting from essentially scratch, and
yeah.
then you got your whole agency built up, for a little bit of hustle early on. So
Yeah, for sure. But and
yeah,
not to discourage anyone that's on here that's 50. There's never a bad time. And I always go back and I talk to my dad about this too, because my dad's about 50, 55, and it's like, what is it? Freaking KFC guy. He started at 50, you know? Um, Bill not Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. I can't remember the stats. I read this a couple of weeks back. It was in here and Digital Landlords, like if he had stopped at age 50, he would, I mean, it's like 90 something percent of his income or his net worth came after the age of 50. So although it's important, not to discourage anyone, because at least you're starting now, but for those of you that are young, those of you that are 20, dude, go and spend the next 10 years while you don't have a bunch of responsibility, while you don't have kids, while you don't have, car payments and house payments, and go and just like do it. So let's transition to that. How are you doing this with kids, bro? So you got a full-time job, you got two kids,
yep, two girls,
two girls, ages what and what?
uh, 7 and 5. So
Dude,
they're still young,
I got
chilling.
a 7 and 5 year old girl. I just have a boy on top of that, but so I can relate. And then you got the full-time job. How in the world? And I love when people are doing this when they still got the job and they got the kids. So for those of you that are like, I have kids and I don't have time. I have a job, I don't have time. You've got both. Do you have a dog too?
Cats, we have cats.
Okay, and you have pets. You have a cat.
Yeah.
So some people are like, I got a dog. How are you doing it? How are you? There's so many people that are like, I don't have time. How are you finding time?
I don't know, man. You just make the time. If you want it, you'll make it. So I've essentially, I'll wake up early, get a good workout in, ice bath, the whole nine, and then from there on out, it's just uh, kind of squeeze in different calls, answer phone calls throughout the day between client calls with work. So I'm lucky I'm working from home and I have the computer like right there. So anytime I have a couple I don't know, slow 30 minutes or something at work, I'll go in and bang out some work on this project, And then after work, I'll set aside a couple hours for kids. And then once we get them to bed, after that, it's just game on. Like just stay burn the midnight oil and keep cranking on this until maybe like 1 o'clock and then go back to bed. So that's essentially like, but I know it's not always going to be like that. So I just put in the work right now while I can and make it happen because that's, you know what I mean? I can't give up the family time, can't give up the work time, and I'm not giving up the workouts. So you gotta just midnight oil, make it work.
And I don't think you should give up the workouts. The workouts make everything else go smoother. Just so you know, I'm the same way. No matter what, I've never stopped that. And you always have to have time for the family. But that's the thing is, everyone is gonna have. If you don't think you're gonna have to go through a period where it's gonna just be grinding, I hate the word grinding because it's so everyone thinks it's such a cool word. But like there are times it just feels like a grind. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's days you get done, probably like a
Yeah,
Wednesday, tough clients, annoying clients. You're taking the freaking flack for someone else to get rich, and you're just tired. And you put the kids down. You're like, dude, I really want to go with the boys
yeah,
out to get a drink. And you have to make that decision. And there's got to be that time, that moment, that season of life where you just hustle. You have to.
yeah, yeah. Well,
That's
that was one of the things with that. I read that book, the Get Think and Grow Rich, the one that's
yep,
recommended in the training.
yep.
And man, there's like a whole part about it on what you're willing to give up, right, for to grow rich and to reach your goals. And a lot of it is like, hey, just told the wife, hey, we're not watching shows in the evenings together. You know, we're not doing this. Like, we'll save that for maybe like Saturday night or so, Sunday night. But the rest of it is like, I'm not doing it. That's it. Like, we're done. And yeah, it kind of sucks. You know, it's like, hey, you want to hang out and stuff, but at the same time, when the money starts coming in, they're like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. You know, so like just delayed gratification kind of sort of mindset. You know.
It does suck in the beginning. This is exactly how my 2020 was when I just exploded. It was a year went to $100,000 a month in a short period of time, and I had the same conversation, and it was like, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of not having enough. I'm tired of not driving the car I want to drive, and the vacations, and having the house, and I don't have the pool, and I don't all this stuff. And I was like, I just had the conversation. As soon as the kids are down, I love you, but I gotta go. I gotta go work. I got to build this thing. And she was understanding. She's like, okay. And then I would jam. I'm like, it was for me, it was weekends. So like Friday night, I would whatever, but Saturday morning, I would still do a sales call. I would always do a sales call. I'd always schedule one for Saturday morning because nothing feels better than putting money in your pocket, like in Stripe on a Saturday morning. That's the best way to have a Saturday. Make money, go to the gym, and then enjoy your weekend. Saturday night, we would binge the crap out of like Netflix. So you could still do it, just like you said, just I
Yeah,
mean, dude, I think I watched some of these, that was the year of like Tiger King and like The Last Dance, dude. I watched
sure.
all
Yeah.
that stuff all night, dude. It was awesome. My wife would
Can't
wake
be
up,
good
she's
for
like,
you.
are you still going? I'm like, yo, I told you I go all in. Like
You're just
I
warming
go
up,
all
right?
in. It was dope. So, couple other questions I had is like, how did you find out about this model, and why did you choose this one when there's like so many other models that you could do? And I'm asking this question because I know there's people in this group that are probably new here, or that will watch this that are new, or that will be new, that are looking at drop shipping or looking at doing this or doing that or the rest. What makes this the one that you chose?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was out. I think it was around this time last year, so about March timeframe. I really started like, hey, I gotta step it up. Like, I want to kind of separate from my work and just do my own thing. And so I just started researching, started looking for a bunch of different things. Like, was looking at drop shipping and pretty much whatever models are out there. Like, I was just like scouring the web, you know, like watching different YouTube videos on like, oh, this is the best business to start in 2024, you know, like, oh, this and this and this, and just kind of like just doing as much research as I can. And I found Shiv's website, his little blog on, hey, like this is rank and rent, and this is where it's legit, and this and this, like, great, cool. And the way it was presented, I was like, hey, this makes a lot of sense, and I think I could do this. Yeah, like perfect. I could work this on my own time, like not a huge time commitment. And so I kind of jumped into that course and learned the SEO piece of it, uh, built a bunch of websites. Uh, it's gonna come later on, but I was just waiting and waiting, and nothing was really happening. you can get sporadic leads here and there, but a bunch of commission deals. People always seem to go for the commission deals, like it's a no-brainer, you know. But then like you start sending the leads, and then next thing you know, like I had a dude, he owed me like $800 for some concrete work, and then just ghosted me, you know, like oh, he took his couple jobs and bounced, you know, and there's nothing you could do about it. And so that was kind of getting annoying, and just kind of chasing people down, and then you know you get that feeling where you're being lied to, like, um, oh, I didn't close that, or oh yeah, it was only this much, you know, and this and that. Like they're just trying to, I don't know, it's just contractors being contractors, I guess, trying to keep every dollar. But so that was getting super frustrating. And I was in the free group here, just kind of watching and like kind of listening and seeing on what you do, what you're teaching stuff. And it was cool, but I couldn't really like. I tried running some ads, tried doing this and this, try to kind of take your sales approach. And like I'm not a slouch when it comes to sales, but I'm no pro either. So I don't know, I just couldn't make it happen. And so then I just started. I was like, I got to change something up. Got to really dial this in. And so I just applied for the course here on your for your program, digital
And then
landlords.
Cowboy Kyle,
And
and then the rest is history.
yeah,
Cowboy Kyle.
yeah, yeah.
And I know you
So
guys
that
talk
that
about hunting because I could see your antlers in the back, dude.
yeah, yeah, a little bit. So
I
yeah,
love
and actually it's crazy because I joined and I had a bear hunt scheduled for 2 weeks later that I was going to go out and do, and that was one of my goals. I was like, hey, I got to close a deal before I leave for this bear hunt. Like this will validate it all for me. Like I got to make this happen. And sure enough, I got that $1,000 a month deal for that concrete guy, right before the hunt. So that was awesome.
Dude.
But
So
like,
tell me about the
yeah,
deals, bro. So you had these sites similar to me, you know, and some of you guys maybe you're in another program, whatever, and you're just kind of doing things the slower way, which is you're building guys, just so you know, if you build enough websites, that way does work. It does work if you build enough. The problem is you're taking a shotgun approach versus a sniper approach, right? You're having to put out way more ammunition, way more pellets versus like a single one bullet to kill something, right? And so that will, if you're
yep.
doing that right now, then it's fine. I did the same thing because I didn't know how to do what I teach now. And but anyway, so how was it one of the sites you had already ranked? Was it a new one? Tell us about that first deal that you got.
Yeah, and just a little on that shotgun approach. That kind of that was another thing that led me here is I essentially had my websites and it was spreading me thin. Like financially, it's like, hey, I don't want to keep putting in more money and not seeing any return coming out of this. Where like I'm supporting about as much websites as I can right now, and I can't just keep growing at this pace and hoping something kind of works out. You know, so that's definitely to your point on that. But yeah, so this concrete deal, I had leads coming in anywhere from like 6 to 10 coming in organically, and I was calling people up, trying to get them on commission, paper lead, anything. Like just literally, like I prospect a lot. Like I straight up, like I probably know most. I probably talked to almost all the concrete contractors here in the area. You know, like not just in the city, but like all the surrounding cities. Like talked to a lot of people, and everybody's kind of like low key skeptical, or they'll take a job, they don't take it seriously, they kind of like set it aside, or they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll call them, and it's like, dude, I got a hot lead for you, like let's go. And turns out they follow up with them a week later or something like that, and you're like, all right, man, obviously it's not going to work. So that was getting super frustrating. So I get in the program, and the first thing I did was I just sales process. I was like, I got to know like what's the big thing here, you know. So I watched all the videos, kind of absorbed as much as I could, and I just started prospecting the way you guys teach it. So I found this guy, um, and sure enough, I called him, and he was all about it. And I was like, all right, man, save my phone number. Like we'll be talking shortly. And that week, I got six leads. Like it's just all organic, and they just like start flooding, you know, and legit good leads for like huge concrete patios. So this guy does like backyard design and restoration. So he does all the hardscaping stuff, pavers and whatnot. And concrete is like a side thing for him. And but he's a huge company. And anyway, so yeah, and he was all about it. And I hear him on the phone. He's super good, and he's just like closing all these people, and he's closing it for concrete and like backyard design and like uh all of it. You know, just like he's killing it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. You know, and So sure enough, I sent him like 6 leads. I should have just closed him right away, like as soon as I sent him the first couple, but 6 leads. I set up a Zoom call with him, everything. I'm getting super excited. Like, here we go. Haven't had a legit sales call in a long time. And he's like, "Hey, I can't make it. I can't jump on the Zoom." And I was like, "Oh no, like this sucks. It's all falling apart." And I was like, "Hey, look, man, like phone call. Let's do phone call." He's like, "All right, sure. Let's chat on the phone." And he already watched the video. I sent him like kind of the explanation of everything, so he already watched that. Everything's cool. And so I start chatting with him on the phone, and just kind of start talking price. And I feel like I totally undersold him after the fact because we talked it out, and he's like, "Look, man, I'm willing to pay anything." Um, so after we signed everything, he's like, "Look, man, if you just keep the leads going like you did last week," he's like, "I'll pay you whatever you want. Like, the $1,000 is nothing in my book." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, dude, I should have asked for way more." But yeah, so that was the deal, man. Closed it up, got the money right there, super excited, and then it was super like I'm living on that high, everything's cool. Start working out next deal and stuff, and then this guy doesn't I sent him 20 calls that month, and he doesn't answer any of them. And I was like about to pull my hair out, like, what's going on? Like, this guy's crazy. Like,
It's the
oh,
same guy you
and
sold.
yeah, yeah, same guy. Like, I got all the numbers set up, everything's proper, and I'm listening to recordings, everything's going to voicemail, 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 and I was like freaking out. And so again, going back to the books, I read that Think and Grow Rich and stuff, and I was like, all right, it's all mindset, like abundance mindset. This will be fine. Like, everything's gonna work out. And sure enough, he texted me the other day. So billing day's coming up, right? And so he texted me the other day. He's like, "Hey, man, I just want to say thanks. We closed the $60,000 concrete deal the other day from your leads that you sent." And I was like, "Yes, this guy's in." And so paid it, everything's good to go, and so he's on. But
Hey,
yeah, that's
one,
essentially.
one thing to make sure you do, just for you and everybody else, those are the best things to close future deals. So whatever, and if he told you that, you should ask him, "Hey, this will help me a ton. Would you mind texting me what you just said?" Have him text it to you,
Yep,
screenshot it, and then imagine your next concrete deal. You're going, "Hey, look at John. Look, and I'm sure you already did this, but these are
yep,
these are those
100%.
social proofs,
Yeah.
right?"
Yep, yep. And that's exactly what I said. I was like, he's like, "We closed a big deal from your leads." And I was like, "Oh, do you mind texting me how much it is? Because I want to screenshot this for social proof." He's like, "Oh, 100%." So he sent me that. So
Dude,
it's
think
pretty
about
cool.
this. Why do you think me and you are on this call right now? It's social proof for digital landlords. Like, I'm not hiding it. It's
100%. Yep, yep.
obviously we're the number one. Anyone that's ever been on interview, I always say we're here to add value. Number one. Number two, we're here to overcome objections as to why people can't do this. Number three is social proof. People are watching this. There's somebody right now watching this that's like, yeah, that Nick guy, like, of course he's gonna say that it's so good because, but for you, it's like, okay, I relate to that guy. I relate
Yep.
to him. He's got a full-time job and I have a full-time job and he's got kids. So just as another little thing, guys, make sure you're collecting a portfolio of social proof that you can use. And sometimes it's videos like this. Sometimes it's just little text messages. Sometimes it's whatever. Just grab, and I have like a little folder. And then when I'm closing my deals, I set everything up and I'm like, yeah, it's like John over here. And, I'm selling through all my different customers. So that's sick though. And it's funny. I was having a conversation with somebody today that was like having a little bit of doubt about the business model. And they were like, well, I don't know. And I was like, what about it makes you uncomfortable or do you not know? And I'm like, you haven't done it long enough because as soon as you get a text message like you got, that's like, dude, I just closed. Like I had a client one time. He's like, we closed up. He showed me. He's like, it was a $95,000 extra gross that month because of our leads, directly because of our leads. Once you hear that, you're sold. You're like, okay, I just created, let's say it's 20% margin, whatever. I just made that guy 20 grand.
Yep.
Like, so this what we do, guys, is extremely valuable. And some of you guys are like, well, if it, I know there's that argument. If it weren't for us, then these business owners would be getting the leads anyway. And we're just no, that's not true. Because guess who's going to get the leads? Home Advisor, Angie's List, Google. They're going to get sold to another company. Like it's not like they would just automatically get them. If they don't know how to market, they don't know how to market. So we're the ones that are helping this little guy, sometimes the big guy, but a lot of times the little guy. And so for me, I love knowing that like my service is recession resistant. My service keeps the lights on.
So
You know what I mean? And for business owners that understand this, you're going to be the last person that they ever cancel because they're going to look at their bills and go, okay, social media, don't see the return. Freaking company lunches, I'm not sure. Leads, can't shut those off. Leads and sales guys, those are going to be the last two things that go.
yep.
So
And
super true, bro.
it's pretty crazy because that second deal that I got for the tree service, the dude straight up said it. He's like, "Hey, I'm paying somebody, I think it was like $200 a month for SEO," and so I just straight up asked him. I was like, "Oh, how much money did you get out of that?" And he's like, "Not a dime." I was like, "Yeah," and his website isn't ranked, his Google profile isn't ranked, nothing. And he's like, "I'll much rather pay you rather than paying SEO," you know. So I got him for $400 as well. So
And then
a couple deals, and yeah, so
once you get him more leads, then you can go sell him SEO.
yeah, exactly. Yep,
And I don't mean
100%.
that like in some kind of condescending way, but like it is important that he gets his website ranked as well. But like now he'll trust you and you can go and get that second, third, fourth money. So
Yep, absolutely.
last question I want to ask you, man. What's something that you know now that you didn't know when you started that you wish you had?
Started with digital landlords or just in general?
No, just in general. I mean, it can be, but it could just be like when you started into like doing this in general, like what's something that you've learned now? It doesn't have to be something that we teach. It could be something that you learned because of something that you did wrong. Like what's something that you now know that you wish you had known when you started?
So this is gonna sound like kind of super cliche or whatever, like
Yeah.
just oh yeah, obviously, but until it clicks, it's not gonna. Uh, so everybody seems to like to do the activities, like the taskers, you know, like oh the technical thing. Everybody wants to do all that, and it's important in a certain way. But the only thing that makes you money is the sales. So unless you're doing sales, you're not making money. Doesn't matter if you're building the asset and stuff, you're still not making money. And so that I think that's it's just huge. And that was the same thing when I had my own business with insurance. It's like everybody wants to sit there and staple forms and get documents signed and like do all this stuff, but nobody wants to do the sales. Um, but that's the only thing that actually makes you the money. So uh, like really focusing on that and like bettering myself as I said, I think if I did that way earlier, uh, like I would have found something to sell, you know. Like if you're ready to sell, you're gonna find the leads to sell. It's just I feel like that's the most important part is like know what makes you what moves the needle and start focus in on that because if you're not moving that needle, nobody else is gonna move for you.
I think I've said that. I think I've said that 100 times. So I'm glad that you see the same thing. It's true. It's because the number one, it's the stuff that moves the needle is usually the hardest stuff that no one wants to do, right? And number two is sometimes it doesn't feel like the needle is moving when you're sitting there and you're like, you're filling out this form or you're doing this or doing that. You're like, oh, I got all this stuff done, but really it doesn't matter how many things you do. It's did you make progress towards your goal? And guys, to keep this business functioning, we need more deals. So that's it. I've said that a million times. I agree with you 100%. Sales, the people that make the most money in this business are not the most technical. Sometimes it happens to be the same people, but a lot of times it's not. It's the people that are focusing on how do I get more people to get me credit, to give me their credit card? How do I talk to more people and how do I get better at talking to the people that I do talk to? That's it. It's simple. Bro, thank you for being on. I appreciate you. How long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been in the program?
Uh, in this program, just over a month.
Just over a month, inked 2 deals. Granted, you had a little bit of a foundation, you built some sites, but congratulations, bro. 2 deals in a month. Um, let's get you back on when you get to 10K.
Sounds good. I'm with it.
Hey, brother.
Call me
Appreciate
next
you.
month.
Let's do it, man. I'll talk soon. Thanks, man.